Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
I've been good, dude. Busy weekend, dude. I feel like I went to Vegas. A lot of drinking. I think whatever cleanse I did in January, that's out the fucking window for whatever reason. It was me and wifey's 3-year dating anniversary. Then it was
Congrats.
just a Saturday. Thank you, sir. Then it was just a Saturday where we're like, well, shit, we ain't doing anything. Might as well keep drinking. And then it was a Super Bowl Sunday where we got destroyed. So it felt like I went to Vegas yesterday, which is why we're recording on a Tuesday. Behind the scenes, we usually record on Mondays, but I had to hit up Blair. I'm like, bro, it ain't happening. Dog. Like,
Yeah. No, I'm glad you said that because, I was struggling too, but not quite as much.
Yeah. But besides that, all good on my end, dude. Obviously, we'll get into Super Bowl in a second, but great weekend on my end, bro. How's life been for you?
I've been good. This past weekend, because the Super Bowl didn't do a whole lot, due to what I usually do, just hang out in the jacuzzi and whatnot. Sunday, got extremely hammered. Started off with Korean barbecue. Actually started off the day playing basketball with my
nice.
boy Moon.
How's that been going?
It was a lot of fun. It was just three of us, so we just played like 21 horse.
Yeah, that's the vibe. Especially as you're easing back into it. 21 is like the game to play because like it's serious but not serious. But then there's moments of like really competitiveness, but like it's not that serious kind of thing.
Yeah. Yep. Great workout. Definitely want to keep that going. And then after that, did Korean barbecue, and then finally watched the Super Bowl on our roof because they had like a thing for all of the residents, which was fun. And then,
nice. So they finally changed the channel from ESPN to something else.
Yeah, essentially. Every now and then it'll be random. It'll be like Judge Judy or some shit.
Yeah. Oh, the cooking channel. Like, why the fuck is Anthony Bourdain 30 feet tall?
Right. And then the game was done, and next thing you know, it's 6 a.m. I'm drunk as shit. Wake up on.
You stayed up till 6 a.m.
No. Like we hung out in our apartment after the game, cooking some food and everything. And then I black out and wake up on the bed at 6 a.m. Surprisingly with no hangover because I had a hangover pill that I took beforehand.
So is the key to take that pill like in the midst of you drinking?
Yeah, you're supposed to take it while you're drinking. So I actually had it midday while I was drinking at Korean barbecue.
That's smart. Yeah, I need to get that shit.
Yeah, and I woke up, completely unscathed. Obviously, I was very tired, but I didn't have like a headache and feel like complete shit or anything. Thankfully.
Yeah, dog. Dude, I'm telling you, like I was even telling my boss, and thankfully he actually went to Vegas. He didn't go for the game, but he went to Vegas just to be like a part of the festivities. Mm-hmm. And I was like, him and I had a meeting at the end of Monday, and I was like, bro, like I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I respect you. I'm operating like at a 5.5 out of 10. And he was like, bro, I'm at a 0.5. Like, he's like, so don't even, like, we'll just chalk it up to the game, bro. Like, it is what it is. Dude, but that must be sick for you guys, bro, because that Super Bowl ended like around 11:30 on the East Coast. So, man, 7:30 is not even like a late night. That's like the best part, bro. I can, like, again, if you were a sports fan, bro, like you would understand, like that's such a nice feeling to like watch a game and then you still have the whole night ahead of you, bro. Like watching sports here, like these games finish at 10:30, 11:30 at night. You're like, fuck, bro, I guess I'll go to bed now. Like, I definitely have, there's some perks for sure.
Yeah, no, Super Bowl, I've always loved Super Bowl just because it's more of like a barbecuing type of event where the entire day surrounds it and you can really get your money's worth and your fun in. That was nice.
Nice. So obviously I know you were rooting for San Fran, I'm assuming. Do you give a fuck though, like the result? Did you truly care in any capacity?
I can't say that I cared. More so I just, I wanted to go into the office with like positive vibes. I know everyone else cares. I thought it would have been a dope look just for the Bay Area. And I think I would have that, spirit or whatever you want to call it would have kind of bounced off onto me, and I would have, felt that kind of spirit as well. And also the Chiefs, I think they're the I would assume they were the favored team, or people thought they were going to win. People were obsessed with Taylor. Like, I just was sick of that whole like narrative
Yeah,
of
you don't
them.
even watch, and you don't even watch that many games. So like,
Right.
imagine the rest of the world.
Exactly. And on top of that, I was feeling good about them in the beginning because they were ahead, and like, you know, I just didn't think the Chiefs would come back. And the game was slow as fuck too, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
that first half sucked. Like
Yeah.
it was a hard watch.
Mhm.
So just so you know, 49ers were actually favorites by like
Okay.
2.5 points. So that's like for betting, it's like Vegas was predicting they would win by at least a field goal. Because the 49ers on paper have the better offense, the better defense, but just Mahomes is just the better quarterback. So that's like why people were like kind of 50-50. But I mean, I was happy for Mahomes. It's always cool to see greatness. And I think that's like the only difference in the game was they had a better quarterback kind of a thing. But I think the second half was fun. But obviously we're going to talk more about the halftime show. So we can get into that now. So yeah, episode 169 about to kick off, episode 168 everywhere. Go peep that comment. We appreciate the engagement right now. But the halftime show, bro, I feel like that was the only reason. Like I was at a small get together, 7 of us, 3 females, 4 dudes. The females were ready for fucking Usher. Bro, my fiance was making noises. I was like, sis, like, yo, I've never seen you react this way. Like, what's happening? But yeah. So, what would you rate the halftime show?
If I had to give it a rating, I don't know, 8 out of 10. I don't think I was like super blown away and walked away saying to myself, "Oh my god, like this was better than I expected," or anything. It was pretty much exactly what I expected.
Yeah.
I think he killed it. Was it the greatest performance of all time or anything versus other years? Not really, in my opinion, but again, he killed it. He delivered. He did everything I expected. So I feel like an 8 out of 10 is a fair rating.
Yeah, 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. I don't think anything less than an 8 would be, it would kind of be like not giving it the justice it deserves. I do think it's one of the better, more recent performances, right? Because, I mean, definitely better than Rihanna. I mean, dude, that was a disaster. Like in hindsight, like looking at that and like comparing to this the following year, you're like, all right, bro, this is why you need someone who's going to put on a show. But I think it was better than the Dr. Dre and 50 Cent and Snoop Dogg as well, right? Because even though that was a moment for hip hop, but it wasn't really like a coordinated effort, right? It was just like one little show, one little show, one little show, one little show. Like, I don't know, there seemed like a lot more cohesiveness about Usher that I appreciated. But I think what brought the score down for me, and let me know if your head's there as well, is bro, it's not that we've been to the Vegas show, but we've seen enough clips. So it's like, I already know what you're going to do. You know what I mean? Like, I know what you're going to do. I know you can still dance. I know you still have a great voice. So like, it wasn't any jaw dropping things. It was just like, all right, this is a really good performance. Kudos to you for, not disappointing, right? It could be one thing if he went up there and just fucking, I don't think he's going to get starstruck or whatever, but maybe like the stage was too big on it for him. And it wasn't that at all. But yeah, like, dude, like it was just solid, right? Like it was, there was no way he was going to fuck it up, but I also don't think he could have done anything truly to like blow us the fuck away. That were like, oh my God, like, how is he doing this? Because I think we already kind of knew what we were going to get, which was good because we knew going into it, it was going to be at least very good.
Yeah, for me, I think it was just, I guess predictable would be the best way to describe it, which I'm not mad at because I think we both predicted it would be great. It just, there wasn't anything that blew our minds once it was over, I guess.
Correct. I would say we were trying to take bets. We could have done that the next year. We can predict what's like the song he's going to lead with, right? Because I think we had a couple ideas. We were thinking, oh my God. I would tell you at my little get together, everyone was saying he was going to finish with which I think you have the set list there. I think he did finish with that song. What was the song he led with though? Was it Uncontrollable or?
It says the intro is My Way and then it leads into Caught Up.
Caught Up. I mean, the My Way was like, I feel like you can't count that, bro. That was like 6 seconds, right? So like, I don't really count that. So I would say Caught Up was a fucking, like, I feel like if you placed a bet for that with Vegas, you would win huge. Because I don't think anyone I don't think you and I were even thinking that song whatsoever, even though that's like a banger. We all know the words.
Right. I saw someone vaguely mention it on like a Reddit post or whatever, but yeah, in my mind, I was like, is that? I feel like most people don't bring that song up, and it just maybe didn't seem like a strong enough intro.
But with
But then
that
again,
setting, it felt right.
right, exactly.
But back to predictions though. I will say, give us a pat on the fucking back. On this podcast 2.5 weeks ago, we predicted he was gonna bring out Alicia Keys and sing My Boo. Bro, we killed it, bro. So high five to us, because that was, bro, when that shit happened, bro, I had people, I send Blair the screenshots, like hitting us up on like the Audio Theory DMs, like, you guys fucking called it. I'm like, bro, we did.
I know. Too bad we didn't bet on it, like you were saying.
I know. But, dude, I will say, man, if you pulled up to your wife's job and you saw her work husband fill it up on her like that, how would you feel?
Oh, I'd be heated. I mean, granted,
Bro,
it's like this is their job, though.
I understand it's performative.
Yeah.
100%. But, like, I feel like there's always a level of, like, bro, like, come on, my guy. Like, if you know she's married to another celeb in the industry, it's like a respect thing. Like, if it was a video, maybe.
Yeah.
But this one, I understand if, like, allegedly Swiss Beats wasn't offended by this, but I don't know, bro. I would feel some kind of way. It's like, bro, come on. There's no need for that.
Yeah. I don't even think it's necessarily what, like, him hugging up on her, more so than the reaction, the way she smiled and like
she loved
kind
it.
of chuckled. Yeah. For me, like that's like, you see
that's worse.
figure skaters and shit like tossing the girl in the air, but it like you don't see intimacy really, like they're not giggling and shit. Whereas in this case, Usher and her, like I felt like everyone felt that 5-second moment where like it was almost like they were in love.
Yeah. So that was very interesting, and the memes of that have been great. Was there any one particular moment, good or bad, that stood out to you, like for any specific reason?
Good or bad moment?
Or shocking moment, maybe?
Not really, to be honest.
We kind of predicted Ludacris. We predicted we said Lil Jon would be out there.
Yeah. And they kind of gave it away with the Apple commercial.
But like again, we knew he was gonna play Yeah. So like I feel like you can't play just your version of Yeah. Like you have to have the features on it. Right. I thought it was a cool moment when he brought out her.
Oh yeah. Good call out. That was where I was surprised.
Yeah, that was cool, especially when she posted that. I guess she performed at the when she was like 10 or 12 years old. She did like the national anthem for the Niners back in the day, so that was cool. Again, I'm not really the biggest her fan, even though there are a couple songs that I do enjoy. But I always feel like I think she's very well respected. But like I don't know, I never get star with her, so like it didn't move me anyway. But besides, like, oh, that's cool. Like, good for you to give her a moment in this massive spotlight for you. Because again, bro, I'm sure everyone who, I mean, dude, he brought fucking Jermaine Dupri looking like a fucking gremlin in a suit. It's just like, I'm sure everyone was hitting him up to like try to be on that stage with him. So it was cool that he gave that moment to her as well to share. Yeah. But like, it didn't do anything for me.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that way about a lot of the more traditional artists. I think for them, like whether it's Anderson .Paak or her or whoever else, like you'd want to see them live and playing instruments and shit. But personally, that's just not like my cup of tea, you know, when I'm vibing by myself or whatever. So for me, I was just like, I thought her outfit was super dope. Obviously, she killed it on the guitar. I've seen her live actually before.
Oh yeah?
Once in LA at the Hollywood Bowl with my brothers as well. It was cool, but yeah, outside of that, I don't really know a whole lot about her music.
Question for you, only because I feel like I listened to a couple podcasts recently. Yo, is like the Hollywood Bowl like the venue in LA? Like if you're gonna like shut down LA, is it that or is it like crypto?
It's a good question. I know a lot of big acts do Hollywood Bowl, but I feel like Hollywood Bowl caters to a specific type of audience, because generally speaking, I think the audience that attends the Hollywood Bowl is a lot older. It's like a BYOB environment. I've like anytime
So
I've
it's like
wanted
an
to see rappers.
amphitheater kind of thing.
Mhm. It's like an outside, yeah, like amphitheater. Like, uh, I'm trying to think of like a similar venue, but yeah, it's outdoors.
Sit on
Caters
the
to older
grass kind
crowd.
of thing.
Yeah. So
I
like
got you. Like,
you
no,
wouldn't
I feel what
have
you're
like
saying. We have a couple
Tyga or
sponsors
some
that
shit perform there.
yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, no, I understand now. I understand now. But whenever I feel like artists speak of it with such a reverence, which is like I thought like it was considered like a higher echelon, like, oh, I made it if I did the Hollywood Bowl kind of a thing.
Probably. Because I feel like more respectable acts play there.
Okay, so they're not
They
just
have a lot
giving
of
it to any
symphonies and
like
shit.
regular schmegler. Like you have to be
Right,
of a
right.
certain level
Yeah.
to get that spot.
Yeah. Yep.
Got it. I was just wondering about that. But back to the halftime show. Yeah, 8.5 out of 10. I think is a very accurate score. I will say that it was very clear. And shout out to him, bro. He paused, but he's in phenomenal shape for whatever fucking however old he is.
Yeah.
But it did seem very clear to me, at least, that towards the end of that 15-minute set, my man was tired. Bro, like he was just like the words weren't in sync with the body anymore. It was like, all right, man, let's wrap this up, kind of a thing. So
Yeah.
I think the 15-minute window for all that dancing and singing at the same time was enough.
Yeah. Which is insane to think about, because a lot of these guys will do 1 to 2 hour shows. Granted, they have breaks and stuff in between, and
Yeah,
and all that.
it's the breaks, and it's not the constant outfit changes. Or I think, dude, I'm sure the change, like the constant like melody, like only the 2 seconds of like the song and then changing it up probably exhausts you as well.
Right.
And it's nonstop dancing, whereas like I'm sure at a show you can like just talk to the audience for a bit and just stand and walk side to side. So
Yeah.
I can see why he was spent, but. Bro, I mean, great advertisement for him, bro. Like, I know they don't get paid to do the halftime show, but, bro, a full 15-minute set, advertisement for, dude, he was also like in 6 different commercials that night leading up to it, which was dope for him. So, I mean, dude, Usher, besides Patrick Mahomes, Usher was the real winner of that fucking Super Bowl because, bro, it's the conversation before that and after that has been all about him. And I don't think any of it, if at all, has been negative. So good for him.
No. Yeah, it's crazy because I don't think I can't recall the last time an artist who was going to do the halftime show had this much publicity beforehand and during and everything.
Correct, bro. The album he dropped, the Skims commercial, Skims campaign, the couple days leading up. He announced a 26 city tour. Yeah, bro, like killing it, bro. Like again, like obviously, I'm sure Illuminati had to play with this, and it was, but it was all like lined up perfect. But dude, like, yeah, as far as a marketing rollout from what we say a year ago when the whole Vegas residency started till today, like, bro, like pretty flawless execution of what the plan was. And then also, I don't know if you saw people posting, but like, remember there was a controversy about like the Usher bucks at like the strip club? And Apple Music brought it back with like the Usher bucks, but like with the Apple logo on it. So like, bro, like even leaning in on that like social media moment from like 4 years ago, like
I almost forgot about that.
Well done all around.
Yeah, no, super fire.
All right, man. So shout out to him. But I would say, I mean, again, the Super Bowl was cool. I think because the game was pretty for the most part. I don't think it garnered that much attention in hindsight. But I also think what a reason for that, though, was Kanye West and Ty Dolla $ign finally dropping Vultures, apparently volume 1 of 3. And we'll get to that bullshit in a second. But what was we finally got the album after like, I think a month and a half of delays and teases and shows in Italy and all that stuff. Your initial thoughts on your first few listens of the album?
First few listens, I loved it. I will say Ty Dolla $ign, I think, outshined Kanye, which wasn't too much of an issue for me because Ty Dolla $ign is one of my favorite artists. So it was just nice to see them finally put this out because I think with Kanye, you just never know if you'll ever get the album or what version of it you'll get, but
Or what
overall,
platform is it going to
right,
be on a
what
fucking stem
platform?
cell? I'm like, bro, I'm not buying that shit.
Exactly. So I think you were the one who pointed out that it was finally out, and yeah, was pleasantly surprised. I feel like it had a lot of um nice songs to vibe out to. Lyrically, a bit weaker than I expected in a lot of ways, but overall I
Mm.
think it was still a stronger project than we've gotten recently from him.
Yeah, so I would say a couple things that stood out to me immediately, but I want to ask you a question first before I give my reaction. So, I think rightly so. Like, so would you say Ty Dolla Sign outshined Kanye a little bit on this on the project?
Yeah, I feel like he overachieved and Kanye kind of, barely passed.
Understood. So, if you were Ty Dolla Sign, putting yourself in his shoes, would you feel some type of way when the album is a Kanye West and Ty Dolla Sign album and you're not even on the cover?
I think it would depend on if he's part of the future covers, but assuming that isn't the
Mm,
case, I would, just considering how much effort he clearly put into this project.
got it. And then, so comparing this to Her Loss, right? Because I think that's the last like collab album I think we all like stopped to truly listen.
Mhm.
Because there were a couple songs that didn't have Ty Dolla Sign on it, right? So then would you think like he should like maybe be okay with the cover art not being about him when there were still some songs on this body of work that had nothing to do with him, but he's still getting credit, quote unquote?
Like him not being on those two songs, would that justify him not being on the cover?
Yeah, like because in my mind personally, because I agree with you, like the
Mm.
songs that they're on together, Ty Dolla Sign is the best thing on those songs, right? Like I
Uh-huh.
100% agree with that. But because there's like I think it's three songs. I could be wrong, but I think there's
Mm.
three songs that Ty Dolla Sign's not on. So like sometimes this album really felt like a Kanye West album that had a lot of features of Ty
Mhm.
Dolla Sign, right? That's kind of how I took it. Like
Yeah.
I didn't go into this thinking like, oh, this is true. I didn't. Well, sorry, not go into. I didn't finish the album the first time thinking this was truly a collab album. It just felt like, hey, come with me in the studio for like 3 months. Let's make a body of work, and I'm gonna put you on most of these songs.
Mhm. I don't know. For me, I'm like, if I contributed more than 50% of to this project, then I feel like I deserve to have my face
On the
painted
cover?
somewhere on the cover. Yeah. Because even if,
Yeah.
like, for instance, he might have only sung a hook here and there on some songs, but if he, consulted on all the beats and wrote
Yeah.
Kanye's portion and this person's portion, and
Oh, he definitely wrote Kanye
yeah,
shit.
then I'm like, he should be on there. I feel like it's like a no-brainer.
No, I feel that. Yeah, I was just wondering how like, yeah, because again, I think we both agree this is the peak of Ty's career, right?
Mhm.
Essentially, like, right, you're on
Yep.
Kanye West, the most talked about album. It's gonna go number one. I don't know if Ty Dolla Sign has ever had a number one album before. So, like, the conversation's clearly about him. I just was wondering, yeah, like, dude, like you put this in again. I don't know if anyone in like 20 years from now is gonna think he took a risk for being on this album with Kanye, but today it could have been considered that, right? Because there was just so much backlash to Kanye about everything. For him not to have his face on the cover. But then I also think, bro, and again, shout out to Jalen, who we fuck with heavy on the pod. I think he had a lot to do. Like, again, it seems that he was a part of this overall production in some capacity, right? But I wonder if they're also consumed with like the art of it, right? So I can also see Kanye convincing them, like, bro, this is the art vision, and I have to make the cover this. And I don't give a fuck what anyone says. And it's like, all right, whatever, bro. Like, just a Kanye being Kanye kind of thing.
Yeah. I think Ty Dolla Sign doesn't care, if I had to guess. And I feel like there's so much behind the scenes that we'll just never hear about or be aware of, which obviously causes us to speculate and be like, well, if it was me, I'd be pissed or whatever. I don't think Ty Dolla Sign necessarily cares. I think it's pretty obvious to everyone that he contributed. It's just him and Kanye's name on all the songs, at least on Spotify. So if it was me, I'd be like, big deal. It's not like he's this mysterious figure that isn't credited anywhere and no one knows what he looks like or anything. He's just like, oh yeah, it's just Kanye's wife or whatever.
No, it was the cover art was dope though. I thought it was dope. But it was a nice like contradiction. But yeah, dude, the album, I mean, dude, personally, I truly enjoyed it, bro. I try to listen to it in the backyard, but because like I knew there wasn't gonna be a lot of like impactful lyrical like content to consume. So like I was like, this might be fine, but I think the first go around, you truly need to have like the headphones in or this shit like blaring on speakers to truly take it all in. Cause this feels like you say, mostly bangers, but mostly bangers you're trying to perform to, right? Like leaning towards that. So just to kind of have it in a very casual space with like Prosecco or wine, it was tough as a first go round. In the future, all day. But yeah, man, I thought it was really good, dude. Like I thought like the features, even though, dude, I'm sure Spotify was the same thing. Like, you don't know who the fuck are in these songs. Like, like, you have to listen to, which again, I get the shock appeal from it, right? In the moment, you're like, oh, Rich the Kid, what the fuck? YG, like, what are you doing here, sir? But it felt at times, I'm like, bro, can you just let me know? Because there were a couple features that I'm like, I'm guessing who it is, as opposed to, oh, that's who this is. So, but yeah, I thought it was a very enjoyable album. What is it, like 49 minutes? So it wasn't too overdone. Dude, my only beef, and I don't know if this is also what happened to you it was 56 minutes. My only beef though was, dude, like I'm gonna show you right now on Apple. Dude, I have to re-download the album every time because it's not available. Like,
oh, what the hell?
Yeah, so like it's there, but like if you downloaded the album, the downloaded version you downloaded is gone. You have to go into Apple, look for Kanye West and Ty Dolla $ign, and then play it again. So it's like this whole. So for example, I'm flying on Thursday. I'm not going to be able to listen to it without the Wi-Fi because it's not downloaded to my phone. So
that's weird.
Yeah, I don't know what the drama is with him, because I think there was also some pushback on Spotify, right? I don't think it was available right away.
I heard about that, but I downloaded it fine. It's still downloaded.
Okay.
I think there was some weird beef with Apple where Kanye was charting and like they removed him or some shit. So I don't know if like the streaming services are like all have their own little beef with whether or not they want to keep him. But on Spotify, at least, I haven't had any issues since release.
Got it. Standout tracks to you.
Standout tracks, Paid for sure. That beat's insane to me. Simple concept, but amazing production. I really liked Burn. Everyone's saying it has late registration vibes. So it was nice to get a touch of old Kanye from that standpoint. And then it's a toss up between actually, no, I'll go with Carnival.
Okay.
I really do love Carnival. The intro is kind of weird. I was like, did they sample this from like some random fraternity party or some shit? Because I mean, the lyrics are not the most profound, but I imagine seeing this particular song live would be insane. Fuck Someone was up close third. I'm still having trouble deciding which one I like, but those are I feel like all give you different versions of Kanye, which is why I liked that contrast.
Yo, so I think I'm glad you brought up the late registration reference, because bro, I think one takeaway I definitely had was that I feel there was multiple songs where he was trying to replicate his flow on older Kanye albums. Did you ever feel that way?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah, like there was I think he's trying to replicate the flow he has on Gorgeous from my Twisted Dark Fantasy, Late Registration. Like there was a couple times that I'm like, because it's one thing to kind of just sound like that, but I think it stood out more because I think he went so left recently and trying to sound so different. So to hear him almost like sounding like a normal Kanye was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But then I was like, is this lazy? Like, are you just like running out of ideas and trying to go back to your old flow? Like, so I think it worked, but there was like a pause for me where I'm like, what are we doing here, kind of a thing. And then I also think it was the second to last song, which on mine is Problematic. Bro, yeah. I think on this album, but specifically in that song, and I'll give you my top 3 songs in a second here, but on Problematic, it was very clear to me on that one that he didn't write those lyrics. And this might be just like the super duper fan in me, but you let me know what your thoughts are. So, bro, I feel like when you write your own lyrics, right, or you're freestyling, this shit just flows, right? It just comes to you, and it's just like you tapped into something in the back of your head that just like, I'm off. Bro, it literally felt like he paused for a second to like almost catch his breath, but then like read the lyrics. And I was just like, bro, I'll try to find the exact moment for you, like the timestamp. But I was like, oh, bro, he definitely didn't write that shit. Because I'm like, I don't know, bro. I feel like an artist who's like reading or their own lyrics won't like have to like, and what's the next line? Like that's kind of like how it sounded. But again, maybe no one heard that, and I could be like completely full of shit. But that's how it sounded. But for me, my favorite songs, I'll go from 3 to 1. I would say number 3 was the one with Northwest. I fuck with heavy. Was it Talking? Talking. Yeah, dude. I really love what he did with the hook production. That's like, I think that's like peak Kanye. And I mean, like just making 2 different sounds that why would they make sense, work perfectly together. So I really fucked with that. I think Fuck Some is number 2. And bro, Do It, again, on paper, sounds like, and this is my heat of the week right now, so if you want to like edit it like right at this moment, my heat of the week is Do It. Bro, on paper, that sounds like the most stereotypical hip-hop song, and you're like, bro, why would you like that shit, right? Like, it's lazy. He gets a Nipsey sample. He samples essentially the entire Juvenile beat on the back end. Like, it's late. Bro, fuck that, bro. That shit is phenomenal. And the reason why I lean towards it being one of my favorite songs in a minute, bro, is that I love, because the idea that I got through this album with the whole Vultures thing and like the sexualization of the cover art is that, bro, like the base of a human being, but a man, is like some of these songs, like Fuck Something. It's like, bro, like we have sexual basic instincts at times, right? And like this came through like in every song to a certain extent. And then to have Nipsey saying the lyrics that he's saying, bro, because you tell me a minute, it might be different in LA, but I feel like ever since Nipsey died, the movement in the media was to make him feel like this God figure, that it's only about like, you know, community and, you know, being a king and, you know, own property. It's like, yeah, bro, you can do, he was that, right? But he also was talking about some freak shit, and like that's also okay. So I think like as like a grown man, I was like, all right, bro, I appreciate this shit, man, because like, yeah, you can have both sets of thoughts and like have a fun night out with your boys or whatever, and just like obviously in a calm space or whatever. So I really just appreciate the whole cohesiveness on the on that song for multiple facets, right? And even the Back That Ass Up sample wasn't like completely out of pocket. Like it almost still went perfectly with the rest of the song. So no, man, I thought Do It was a great, just a great, I think, summary of what I think he was trying to achieve on the entire body work.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm glad you brought that up, especially because Fuck Something was the first time I heard it, I was like, oh my God. And I think my enjoyment of the album started to peak as that song was playing. I'm like, what does that say about me? Does that mean I just like hedonistic? What's it called? Secular, just primitive music or something. But I'm like, but there's nothing wrong with that song if that's the message. Like people can deny it all they want, but it's a basic message that everyone related to at some point. And it sounds good. And I feel like that was kind of, I mean, the reason why I said lyrically weak is because it seemed like every Kanye verse was like about his dick or something. But
yeah. I understand. As a whole, yeah, for sure. It wasn't like that progressive Kanye, right? It's also probably a shock for a lot of listeners if you became a Kanye fan during the Donda albums. You're like, what the, how did we get here, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but it's also wild, bro, that we're like 5 years removed from him talking about, I'm never gonna curse again. If you want the old Kanye, listen to my old shit. And then 4.5 years later, because again, dude, we're all walking contradictions, right? I think like when I really got into hip hop, that's what the people would always say about Tupac. Like if you saw 10 different, if you met Tupac from 10 different people, you get 10 different point of views, right? But it just felt like the messaging on this album was very much like, yeah, man, like sexualizing. But dude, I feel for the most part, he's like sexualizing his wife, right? So like, good for you, bro. Like, if you're gonna sexualize anyone, like, do it to the chick you married or whatever. But yeah, that was my biggest take. Like, dude, I'm telling you, I played back the Nipsey, 15-second intro, bro, nonstop, because like I didn't believe what I was hearing, bro. I was like, dude, all right, cool. Like, dude, I feel like it was like a constant shift. The moment, like, rest his soul, the moment he passed away, it was only about the properties he bought, the money he set aside for his kid, which is phenomenal. But like, there's this weird thing when people pass away. Like, again, I mean, again, rest in peace to my mom. I'm sure like there's other parts of these people that it like doesn't need to also go away. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying shit on people after they die, but we can talk about all assets of their life and just be matter of fact, right? So like, yeah, dude, like Nipsey had some wild ass fucking lyrics, bro. And like, I feel like we all forget about that shit because we only want to talk about like maybe the majority of his life, but just one very specific part.
Right. Which is interesting because a lot of people will argue that, you know, rappers only go mainstream for their, I guess, their more commercial music that has less of a message and is kind of dumbed down. But with Nipsey, I feel like it was almost the reverse because I remember his earlier music, he would say similar, he'd rap about like hood rats or whatever. He would still sprinkle in the more positive, like ownership type shit, but it was definitely a little more watered down in some ways. Some of his music, like I remember one bar I always thought was kind of funny was like he said, "Shorty sucks is so good." I was like, "Damn, where your teeth at?" and all kinds of stuff. But then as soon as it blew up, it's all about like rolling assets and blinding the block back and stuff. But yeah, it was a nice look. I was surprised he threw that in there, especially because a lot of people keep talking about how like overrated he is and stuff. So it was cool that Kanye, probably I'm sure Ty had a lot to do with it as well. Threw that
to get that like released, kind of a thing.
Get it released and just like the idea of it, like having a Nipsey. Because I know YG and Ty are super close, so I'm sure it was like an LA thing, and Kanye like co-signed it.
Yeah, dude, it was phenomenal, bro. Like, and I think we've spoken about before. Like, I don't really fuck with YG so much, but even his part made sense. Yeah, man, I just thought it was my favorite song, bro. Like, it's just a really good song in a weird way too, bro. I don't know if I like to do this thing where like, I compare like albums to albums and like recent popular albums, and it's like this almost felt like the Rich Baby Daddy song of this album, where like it's just like regardless if you like the artist or not, like this song is an undeniable banger. You know what I mean? Like is just like, this is it. So I feel like this was like the Rich Baby Daddy song of this album, just like super left, but like still hip hop at its core. So like, yeah, man, it was a great summary, and also like I feel like it was the peak of the album because it was like exactly midway. But Fuck Something was great. Carnival was great, bro. Like you said, Carnival is a great track. But I think that's one, if we ever see him do like a live performance of that post album release, we'll appreciate it a little bit more.
Right. Let me ask you this though, because one thing, as I was listening to that album, as much as I enjoyed it, I feel like Kanye's past the point where, you know, as a fan, you kind of have to be closeted now and not really go out of your way to talk about how much you love him to your friends who.
Yeah, this is definitely the first Kanye album that I'm not seeing anyone post a screenshot of like, this is what I'm listening to.
Right. Exactly. So not like, I mean, I haven't done that, but you know, if I go on a hike and decide to throw on one of the songs in the Instagram story, like I know there's probably a handful of friends who are gonna be like, yo, you're really listening to this shit? Like, what's wrong with you? So do you feel weird about it in any way? And if so, like, how are you gonna go about consuming his music moving forward?
Yeah, dude, that's a great question, because I did find myself a little in that predicament, bro. So one, I didn't listen to the album till Sunday. I did have a get together on Saturday at one of my boys' house. It was actually his 1-year-old's birthday, but they're a Jewish family. So in a normal situation, I would probably bring it up, but I haven't really heard the album yet. So I'm like, bro, what's the point of talking about an album you haven't listened to yet, just to stir shit up? You know, like, what am I defending if I haven't even heard it yet? But yeah, no, bro, I had that thought at the gym, like, damn, bro, this is a banger. Let me like should I use some captions? Like, how do I incorporate this? But bro, dude, I feel like, bro, if you fuck with the music, man, I feel like you have to, dog. Like, I know there's one thing, like, what's the point of like, I mean, dude, what's the point of anything, to be perfectly honest, right? Like, what's the point of me posting any song, right? Like, I mean, maybe on Audio Theory, because like sometimes we have artists like repost our shit or like comment, and that's like cool. But like, am I doing it just to stir up controversy, or am I doing it just for the simple fact that like, dude, I like sharing what I'm currently doing at this time, right? The same way I share if I'm at a fucking McDonald's and this burger slaps, let me take a picture of my Big Mac. So I personally feel like, dude, if I'm at the gym and I'm just playing Do It 6 times in a row, I'm probably gonna post that song as just a screenshot and be like, bro, this is it. You know what I mean? I haven't felt inclined to, but I think it's just more of the setting I was in. Like, I went from listening to the album for 2 hours straight, then going straight to the Super Bowl party. So it wasn't like enough time to process it. But yeah, bro, like I feel like if I post a screenshot of me running 6 miles and I was listening to that the entire time, I might make that the sound. Like, I'm currently leaning towards I don't care, right? But I know for a fact a lot of people are like right in the middle and like tiptoeing because I don't think they want the backlash. And I feel like again, I haven't done it yet, so it's pretty convenient for me to fucking say that. But right now I'm leaning towards like I don't care. How about you?
I'd say mostly the same. I mean, I don't think since like George Floyd and everything, I've never really been the type to like want to get involved in politics and, you know, picking a side and canceling people or trying to uncancel people and shit. For me, it's kind of just like, if I like something, I'm gonna consume it. And as long as I'm not like a bigot or consuming content that's literally bigoted, then for me, it's kind of just, it's almost like not wanting to eat a cheeseburger because a Nazi fucking put the cheeseburger together in a way. This is probably a horrible analogy, but as long as the cheeseburger doesn't have a fucking Nazi symbol on it, then I'm like, you know what? If this shit tastes good, I might eat it. Horrible example, but I guess the point is like
That might have been a Nipsey lyric, by the way. If the shit tastes good, I might just eat it. That might have been the second part of the
I believe you for a second. For some reason, like I swear that bar might actually exist. And if not, I'm gonna steal it, use it, and I'll credit you. Or you'll be the
my first song credit.
Person.
My first song credit.
But yeah, I don't know. It's tough because I've never really been the type to. I've always separated the artist from the music for the most part. And
so kind of just so like staying on that topic though, do you listening to the album, right? Because there was obviously the famous line. Also, side note, where the fuck was? So I guess he never got clearance for the Backstreet Boys song.
I think they're saying that might happen in the future volumes.
The future volumes? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So back to the top. Do we truly think after the 56 minutes, was any one song or verse anti-Semitic? Right? Like he has the line where it's like, how can I be anti-Semitic? I just fucked a Jewish bitch. I just fucked Scooter's bitch. So that one, he's just poking fun at it. The only one who, and I think he was King. Right.
Yeah, that one was like blatantly like, yeah.
But but he's also not Bill Cosby. He's also not R. Kelly. He's also not Puff Daddy. So and then he's saying all those things right before he says I'm anti-Semitic. Like, I don't know, bro. I feel like he's also poking fun at it, but making us talk about it in a sense that like, is he poking fun at it? Or is he just admitting that he's anti-Semitic? Like, I lean towards him just trying to be like tongue in cheek and funny about it.
Yeah, I think that's the tricky thing with him is I have no idea when he's being serious or not. Some people will say, well, he literally said he, you know, likes Hitler or so. I forget what he said. But half the time it's so outlandish that I feel like he is just trying to stir up controversy. I think that bar in King was the only time throughout the whole album where I was like, oh shit.
The only time.
Is it real? Yeah, the only time.
Yeah, the only time. And that's why I think it was also convenient. Like, it was the last song. It was kind of like in the middle of it. But, okay, yeah, because I personally, at the end of the album, I wasn't too sure. I'm like, when you asked that question about do you feel comfortable? Because I like initially I was like, yeah, bro, like I don't really think he said anything, you know? And then even again that bar, I'm like, is he being serious though? Or is it this like, because we don't think he's Bill Cosby. We would never think of him like R. Kelly. So it's like the way it was set up, it just felt like it was kind of like, bro, I'm not that, but I am king. And that's how I interpreted it.
Yeah. And I guess to play devil's advocate, or not even necessarily devil's advocate, but even if he is, let's say all of it's a complete joke and like his best friends on the planet
leave it alone.
Jewish, and he's at bar mitzvahs every night, like he's still empowering the people that are actually anti-Semitic who think he is serious. But at the same time, unfortunately, no one is really going to care because they don't see the Jewish community as a people who are oppressed. They think they're literally the ones running the world. So I don't think anyone, unfortunately, would give a shit.
Yeah. No, dude, I don't think you're wrong, dude. But yeah, it's tough, bro. It's tough. Like, yeah, like it's also like, back to your question earlier, like, am I uncomfortable about posting? Like, I don't know, bro. But then you think about it, it's like, I don't know, man. Like, is it worth like having one of my boys hit me up and like, bro, really? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm listening to it 3,000 times, that's supporting, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, do I need to post it? Right? Do my 898 followers need to know? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't post the screenshot of the album itself, but I'm sure,
but like, as the sound in the background,
yeah, just have to
sound,
like
tag it.
Yeah, if you're just walking down the beach or some shit, like, is that gonna offend someone that you chose this song? Because you could have there's a billion songs to choose from, and you decided to choose that one Kanye West song.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. So that's a great question, but I don't think we have an answer for that one. Time will tell. Again, definitely a decision I need to make sober though. Like, I'd be pissed if like I wake up to just a fucking demonic fucking DMs from like alleged friends, and I'm like, bro, I don't even remember this. Like, I just lost three people from my wedding because I fucking played this one Kanye song. But what I was gonna say, do you believe that we're gonna have, because they gave us dates for Vultures 2 and Vultures 3, do you believe they're gonna follow through with that shit?
I think they'll follow through with the release. As far as the actual dates themselves, probably not. I would say around that time frame. I just feel like Kanye's the type where like 4 days before he'll realize like he doesn't like how one little part of the song sounds, and then fucking postpones it another week or something.
Bro, I don't think we're getting any more Vultures, bro. I think this is it.
You don't think we are? Oh, wow. Damn, that makes me sad.
Yeah, bro, because my thing is like, bro, this was still like 16 songs. So you're telling me you have another 30 in the chamber? And we were just saying one more. Maybe, dog. But like, I don't think it's going to be no, like, do you have the dates for anybody? Just my bad to put you on the spot. No. I feel like it was like Feb, whatever it was on Saturday morning. Then it was like March, and then like every month we're going to get
March 8th. And April 5th.
No fucking, bro. No way, dog. Like, maybe later this year. Maybe before the year's over, we'll get volume 2. But bro, to tell me that you guys have 30 songs in the chamber, or at least another 15, and we were just talking about how like uninspiring the lyrical content of this album was, like, I don't know, bro. Like, this was a moment because it was just like, dog, we got old Kanye back. Or whatever version of Kanye that's not super Christian that we can like, hey, bro, yeah, man, just fucking chill. Like, you can talk your crazy shit too, and, you know, in the context of like this world. But I don't know, bro. I don't know how much of a pass we'll give him if now we're like, all right, your next one. Because again, like, unless it goes super left and it's now about his family or what, like, dog, I don't see it, dude. I think they just did that to get the momentum going and just have people talking about Kanye more and more. But yeah, I don't see it, dog. I don't see us getting Vultures 2, if there is a Vultures 2, until the end of the year. But I'm leaning towards we don't get it.
Okay, I'll lean towards we do get something, probably wishful thinking, but I feel like someone's got to wish it into existence. So I'll just stick to my delusional belief.
Yeah, no, dude, I hope you're right. But like, and realistically, I don't see how. You know what I mean? Like how do you have? I don't know, bro. I feel like in a world where streaming, again, I know he doesn't need the fucking money, but in a world where streaming is all about more content in one body of work, why wouldn't you drop all fucking 45 songs you have right now then, right? So, I don't know. It just seems odd to like just put that out there, but we'll see, man. Hopefully I'm wrong. Were there any other bars or moments from the album you wanted to discuss?
Not really. I feel like this album in general was pretty straightforward. I don't think we learned a whole lot new about Kanye other than he must really enjoy fucking his wife or something, and he's happy because of it.
But I do think that on Keys to My Life, I think it's that one. I think that nigga still misses Kim. Like, I think
which bar specifically?
How you gonna have this dude in pajamas eating Papa John's on your couch? Like that stuff. Like you used to hold me like your own, like I was your only child. And bro, like I think so. I think both things can be true, right? Like there's sometimes that like you can be extremely happy, but then a simple reminder of your previous life. And dude, he probably has a simple reminder of his previous life every fucking day because he has 3 kids by her. You know what I mean? Like every day is a reminder of that time, right? So I think you can still be very happy with your current life and still talk about the past. But I think those memories are still very much, at least that song felt like very evident that song was directed at like that situation. I think honestly, probably directed at Kim and Kris Jenner.
Mm-hmm. I'm also curious, like how, because I know a lot of these songs could have been written a long time ago, and maybe Ty Dolla $ign wasn't even involved in some of these until way later or whatever. So I'm curious how recent that those sentiments are.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I mean, if you're gonna put it out now, I mean, we're gonna assume that it's more recent content. But you know, you're right. This shit could be like 2 years in the chamber, and that's his like get out of jail card with his when his wife presses him about it. But yeah, good body of work. What's the grade by you?
I'd say 8.5.
8.5. Production was fire. Yeah, I'll go 8. I'll go 8. Yeah, only because like I the only reason I don't go higher is because there wasn't too many times that I was playing it back for the bars, right? Like I think even though he's a creative genius, and I think that comes through. Like the production quality is A1, but when we're not really ever really going back for bars, right? Yeah. Even though like you're cursing again, that's exciting for obviously for us, whatever. But yeah, I would say an 8 is solid. Yeah, I can't go higher than 8 strictly for lyrical reasons.
Yeah, I'd say 8 as well. I think it's always tough on first listen because I was just hyped to see him back. And as you know, it's been pretty lackluster within hip hop. But I think in hindsight, yeah, I think 8's probably highest just because I think the bars were weaker as I was replaying it over and over. I was like, damn, he really didn't say a whole lot there, but it sounded good.
It sounded good, bro. And honestly, I was talking to my girl this in the car because she's like, oh, how do you like the album? I'm like, I like it a lot. And then usually, dog, like his album's taking me a minute to truly like comprehend. So the fact that I'm like bro, I love it from day one. I do think this album's gonna grow on me, and maybe we'll catch some more lyrical, nuances that weren't easy to pick up on the first couple go arounds. But production wise, bro, you can just listen to the fucking instrumental of this fucking album and just have a phenomenal workout. So yeah, kudos to him and that crew. And again, I think a great
Freddie Gibbs snapped, by the way.
Dude, Freddie Gibbs snapped on that fucking song. Snapped. Dude, who else had a great feature? I think Rich the Kid had a phenomenal feature. I know people loving Carnival with Playboi Carti. That's fine. I do like, what song is Travis on?
He's on Fuck Some.
Fuck yeah, dude. He was great on that. Yeah, dude. But yeah, Freddie Gibbs was I think Freddie Gibbs stands the most out because he's like the one person rapping his ass off. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's funny because he's pretty much the only person who was trying to rap on the whole
Yeah.
album.
Yeah, like for real. Like that's why I think it stood out the most to me. And also like obviously super aggressive, but just lyrically, so you're like, oh, this is a little bit different. But I think great look for Ty Dolla $ign, bro. I think he with this album, people who were kind of on the fence or don't really get why we're like hip hop is enamored with him for so long, bro. He's been relevant for a while, dog. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's been doing this shit for a minute. So for him to finally get this shine, dude, it's a great look for him, bro. On the cover or not, I think he deserves this love, bro. And the fact that, bro, this same guy allegedly has like a fucking Mac Miller album stored away that we were meant to get as well. Like you can just everyone in hip hop fucks with Ty Dolla $ign, bro. And it's cool when like even though the most controversial artist right now in the music game, it's still a very good look for him to be a part of this. And I think he already has all the fuck you money he needs, right? I don't know how rich he's trying to be. So I don't know how big of a risk for his career this was, but good for him for taking it. And I think another feeling I had on listening to this album, bro, when you realize all the people on this album, right? The Freddie Gibbs, Playboi Carti, Quavo, Travis Scott, like, I'm like, damn, does anyone really not fuck with Kanye then? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, all right, Drake doesn't like this guy. But for the most part, I feel like all of hip hop is like embracing this shit. So it was very interesting from that standpoint that like, oh, I guess everyone still really fucks with him.
Yeah, he seems like one of the uncancelable people. Maybe they know something more than that we don't know. And it all is just some big, you know, joke or what have you. But I feel like Kanye's done way too much as an artist and visionary for people to turn their backs on him just yet. And again, I think just so happens the group of people he's talking about aren't the average person in the US, at least doesn't think they're an oppressed people for, you know, whatever reason, whether it's conspiratorial or not. So I think because of that, people are like, they'll be fine. It's not like, you know, he's talking down on poor black people in some specific neighborhood or some shit.
Yeah, and I think it's also we have enough evidence, not to get down like this rabbit hole either, but like I think we have enough evidence that like he always likes to speak his mind on shit that you tell him he can't speak his mind on. Right. So like if you tell him the sky's blue, he'll be like, well, honestly, it's orange. Let's talk about why it's orange. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's who he is. And like again, whatever his like mental disorder is, I feel like he always leans toward like rebellion, even though he may have the skinny jeans on and the weird outfits. Like it's still like a rebel to a certain extent. So I think a lot of people, like I think you and I included, like we can kind of see through the bullshit. Like, do we really think he, like, I think we're both like, bro, he doesn't fucking actually believe this, bro. It's just him talking kind of a thing. So I know, I like to your point, I'm able to remove that craziness from the body of work, right? Even in those, again, people might say on King, he's actually trying to like prove that he is anti-Semitic. I don't think so, but teach their own, bro. But again, very good album. Again, I would feel very comfortable in saying for 98% of this album, I never felt uncomfortable listening to this. Right? I was never same. Oh, bro, like I shouldn't be listening. This is too much, bro. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I would have those ears where I'm like, dog, like good for you. This goes platinum, but this ain't for me. And I was like, bro, this is for me, bro. Like, you know?
Yeah, I felt that way that pretty much the entire time. Up until King, it got a little weird for like 3 seconds, but then, yeah, again, the rest of the album had absolutely nothing to do with the past couple years of him, you know, saying random shit. So I fully enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, 100%. All right, bro. So let's go to you then, because I already gave my heat of the week. So this is heat of the week part 2. What is your heat of the week for episode 169?
As much as I want to nominate Ye for this, I want to give some shine to a different artist who may have worked with him actually, but Skepta released a new song about a month ago, I think, called Gas Me Up, produced by Cardo, which is an interesting collaboration because Cardo, for those who are unaware, makes a lot of Wiz Khalifa and Larry June's beats, which kind of have a more mellow but like hard-hitting, I don't know, like West Coast kind of vibe to it. But this one's definitely a banger. It fits Skepta perfectly. Love what he did with the hook and just overall a really dope song. And I've prior to the Kanye release, I've listened to it over and over and over. So
You said it was an
definitely
album or just one song?
just the one song.
Okay.
Gas Me Up. Yep.
Yeah, send me that, dude, because I've heard some good Skepta. I feel like he's also an artist. I feel like it's more of a British thing, bro. I feel like British artists are just way more inclined to do more like house-friendly tracks. I feel like he's an artist that I've heard on a lot of like house sped-up beats that like make sense. Even though I think for the most part, like he's like considered like a hard street rapper. You know what I mean? So it's like very interesting that they're more like they don't find it like funny looking to like just do a house song.
Yeah. It's definitely probably a cultural thing where that house isn't like considered a soft, like electronic music's not like a soft thing to listen
right
to.
like the guy, like they could be rapping on a corner and the guy making the house beat is the house they all go to hang out after or something like that. You know, I feel like they're all kind of interconnected, which is cool. But yeah, definitely send me that because I feel like Skepta leans towards that in a pretty cool way.
Yep.
Cool, man. Great episode. If you guys haven't yet, go listen to all our other episodes. 168 is up right now. Go listen to the new Kanye album. Let the people know what we got going on, bros. Get out of here.
Yes, sir. Catch us at audio-theory.com. New episode every single week on all platforms. So be sure to go to the website. And if you're on YouTube, check down below. We got merch down below as well as on the website. And then the Spotify and Apple Music playlist on the site as well. Otherwise, like, share, subscribe, donate, do what you can to support the channel.
Yeah, love you as always, bro.
Love you too. Peace.